Oh, hey, have a seat. Life as of late has been like a scab. Yeah, a scab. Technically, a scab is not the wound itself, nor is it a scar yet. It's the irritating state in between. The bleeding has stopped enough for something protective to form. 2 hour platelets, employee of the month. But everything underneath is still extremely sensitive. It itches, and you're constantly aware of it. That's kind of the point. You feel things from the inside out. You know what? It's actually only been within the past 6 months or so that I have become able to feel it. Feel what, you may ask? To put it in normal human language, it's like the internal map of my body has become much sharper, which allows me to perceive what's happening when I sing far more clearly. And yes, I sing if this is the first time we meet. I'm a first-year master's student juggling neuroscience and classical voice because apparently having only one discipline in my life would have been too dangerously relaxing. Just kidding. I genuinely like what I do. Brainwaves by day, bel canto by night, or the other way around. Okay, back to the scab. More precisely, I can finally notice where my breath moves, where it stops, where sound resonates, where my belly braces when it needs to release, where my ribs stop expanding, where the area of my diaphragm feels locked instead of moving relaxedly. Relax. Isn't that supposed to be one of the most natural things in the world? But voice training sometimes asks you to remain intensely sensitive without interfering, to notice everything while somehow relaxing. Relaxedly. Relaxed. To relax. I've said it too many times. It's no longer a word. It's called semantic satiation, by the way. And apparently when you teach your body, actually when I taught my body to become more sensitive, it did not agree to be sensitive to only the pretty things. Surprise, motherfucker! Ain't nobody told me classical voice came with complimentary emotional excavation. Enroll today and receive 1 full excavation of your childhood trauma. Abso-fucking-lutely free. Side effects may include inconvenient self-awareness, spontaneous crying, and discovering that you've apparently been unhinged. Okay, enough bullshit. So yes, my vocal perception has improved. Yo, girl simply didn't realize how much more of herself she was about to perceive along this shit, bruh. And one of the biggest takeaways was that not all remembering looks like a memory. Sometimes it's a flashback. Sometimes it looks like your body is still obeying instructions that nobody is giving anymore. My hands remember things too. No, not in that sense. They don't necessarily remember a scene, but they remember instructions. Stay tense, stay ready for whatever the was going to happen. I used to do the dishes with my wrists and forearms completely locked. And I washed my hair the same way, recruiting every available muscle, as if showering were a UFC title fight. It was only recently that I discovered I could just not do that. No one is coming after me if I shower slowly. I will not morph into a Cthulhu if I massage my scalp patiently during a shower. I can take my f***ing time. I can do things relaxedly, relaxed, in a relaxed manner. We've been through this. Smart thinking. Now I know. And knowing is half the battle. I'll see myself the f*** out. But my hands had a reason. To explain that reason, I need to tell you about my mother. My mother has schizophrenia. I want to be careful with this. A diagnosis is not a character description, and schizophrenia is not shorthand for violence. I'm not telling you what people with schizophrenia are like. I can only tell you what living with my particular mother was like when she was experiencing psychosis, and what my body learned in that environment. During some of her episodes, what was supposed to be a lesson in doing the dishes, cooking, or doing household chores could become physically painful. She would clamp onto my hands and force them through the movements, gripping, squeezing, and twisting hard enough to hurt. So the chore itself was never the damage, the way I was taught it was. Those ordinary movements entered my body together with pain. Hold this, turn that, scrub harder, stay tense, be ready. Her illness belongs in the explanation. It doesn't erase the impact. Because after nobody was holding my hands anymore, my hands kept holding themselves that way. I've had to make peace with, actually reclaim the most mundane parts of daily life. The sink, the stove, the shower, things so aggressively ordinary that nobody imagines someone might have to heal their relationship with them. And it isn't just my hands. I can be halfway through a voice lesson when an image of my mother hurting me in the name of discipline suddenly flashes into my mind. My chest remembers how to brace. My stomachs remember how to clench. And my throat remembers that there was once a prize for using my voice. Some of y'all probably know this. When I was in 4th grade, I sang and danced at a class party. My mother called me a whore for it and beat me badly enough that I bled. I was a child. I was only singing, doing what I loved most. And then I was sexualized, humiliated, and physically hurt for it. That was how my body learned that using my voice could make me unsafe. Singing is strange that way. I mean, the thing helping me heal is also the thing that keeps brushing against the scab. Pursuing the dream can repeatedly reopen the very wounds that once taught me not to pursue it. Well, that deserves a story of its own, along with the very complicated journey of how I'm trying to reconcile with my mother without pretending that every part of me has made peace with what happened. Do you understand how difficult it is to relearn something as basic as breathing without automatically anticipating something dangerous or toxic? Because back then, danger was what life felt like. And when I was later bullied at school, home wasn't where protection came. My mother told me that I had caused it and I deserved it. So my body didn't only learn to expect harm, it had learned not to expect protection. I'm gonna skip a massive section of the trauma pile because this is life as of late, not Chelsea's traumatic diaries. The point isn't to inventory every wound. The point is to explain what began changing after I chose singing again. Whenever I ask my voice for more freedom, I meet the places in my body that still believe freedom is dangerous. Singing asks for breath, sensitivity, release, trust, and survival taught me to treat all four as security risks. So this realization was partly chosen and partly dragged into the light by the fundamental physical requirements of singing. Years after that tiny voice had been buried underneath the armors of survival, I chose singing again. And in the life that grew around that choice, I met beautiful people. My voice teacher, my professor, my therapist, my friends, old and new. Distance from toxicity gave me room. These people gave my body new evidence that correction can be kind, that attention can be safe, that making a mistake doesn't have to become punishment, that care doesn't have to hurt. A body can learn danger through repetition. Maybe it can learn safety that way too. So it's taken a long time. And then one day you simply realize that your wrists aren't locked while washing a bowl. And the bowl still gets clean. I wasn't just relearning how to do the dishes. I was teaching my hands that a dish could be just a dish. That I could use only the amount of force the present moment actually asked for. Maybe this is what the scab looks like at human scale. Because a scab isn't beautiful. It's crusty. And it's itchy. It catches on things. Sometimes something brushes against it, and everything underneath starts hurting again. Sometimes it splits open, and suddenly a place you thought had already closed started bleeding. But a scab holds two truths on the same patch of skin. I was hurt here. I'm trying to heal here. Well, then maybe I'll spend the rest of my life scabbing over. But scabbing over isn't the same as bleeding forever, and ripping a scab off before it's ready does not make it heal any faster. It only interrupts what's quietly happening underneath. So, yeah, life as of late has been like a scab. Oh my gosh, thank you so much for staying with me through all of that. Seriously, because I've apparently saved half of my own live update for the last, and allow me to share with you some of my upcoming performances. First, second, I am recording a podcast with a friend in August. The recording date exists, the date of release currently does not. I'll let you guys know when it becomes observable. Third, October 3rd, there is a concert, my concert, the one I posted an audition video for, where I sang The Voice Within by Christina Aguilera. I archived it though, because I listened back and I thought my voice already sounded different and better, and that recording suddenly didn't feel current anymore. Not gonna lie though, ever since I started receiving formal classical training, my voice has sounded different every 2 to 3 months. Is that a good thing? I think it's a good thing. That's a good thing, right? Anyways, this is an announcement that an announcement is approaching. I'll post about it very, very soon, I promise. The team has worked unbelievably hard to make this happen. Through venue changes, scheduling problems, and many other plot twists, I'm genuinely grateful to them. Just stay tuned. Yeah, the voice is leaving the house. And for a body that once learned that using its voice could be dangerous, having this many new places to use it feels kind of enormous. Okay, that concludes the housekeeping. You have now listened to an emotionally unreasonable amount of my bullshitology. So before we wrap up, your turn. Finish this sentence for me. Life as of late has been like what? Tell me in the comments. I'm trying to make this series monthly or bi-monthly, hopefully. Consider this an underpowered longitudinal self-study. Sample size 1. No control group. Relatively high ecological validity? I sound like a f***ing nerd. Whatever. Like this video for the platelets. Subscribe for a longitudinal follow-up. Alright, and before you go, unclench your jaw, drop your shoulders, and check your wrists. I saw that. Great. Same seat next time. See ya.